Show on the road. So, welcome everybody to our Essential Island Living Weekly Builders team call. Thanks for everyone who's showed up so far, and I know we'll have more people pop on. I'm really excited about tonight's call. Before I introduce our guest speaker tonight, let's go ahead and just quickly do our oil protocol. So please grab an oil that's speaking to you or that's near you. I'm gonna grab rose and go ahead and take 3 deep breaths.
Wait, we have to cut it.
Place your hand over your heart. I am doing the best that I can. I am doing the best that I can. I am doing the best that I can. All right. All right. Okay. Well, without further ado, I am beyond thrilled and grateful to have Ashley Boughton join us from California. Ashley is a crossline sister, which basically means that our businesses do not affect one another. But we were both lucky enough to sit next to each other at our very first conventions, both of our very first conventions, and we just clicked. It was almost instantaneous. I won't tell you guys all how, but it was just that energy when you know someone is meant to sort of be in your life and with you on the journey. And I am so grateful for her. And please, when I say this, like, many of you guys know and understand me well enough to know that when I say something, like, there are very few people that I look towards for advice, for motivation, for inspiration, for just truth and honesty, that I look up to in this business, that I respect in this business. They're few and far between, and Ashley is by far one of them. She is one of the most raw, authentic, real people that I have the pleasure of knowing as a friend and as a crossline sister in this business. And so I just asked her to come join us tonight to share what was on her heart and what she felt like spoke to her. So I'm gonna not talk, which is yay for all of you, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ashley. But Ash, I think the world of you, and I'm so grateful that you're here tonight sharing with all of us. So I'm going to let you take it away, and maybe at the end we can leave some time for question and answer. But
well, that was ridiculously kind. Yes, like, I don't even know what to say to that. I appreciate you saying all of that about me, because being how I am, I'm one who's like, oh no, like, I don't deserve like praise. Or it's been one of my limiting beliefs has been like believing in myself as someone as an authority, or someone who can speak on things to people who are actually above me, because I'm a silver level leader. So when Eliza says something like that, that really holds weight to me. So I appreciate you saying that. Like she said, my name's Ashley. I'm from California. It's 11:30 over here, so bear with me. And this is my first time actually coming to speak on a team call. So I'm dealing with the nerves and all of that. So give me some grace tonight, guys. Send me some love and give me some grace, because this is scary for me, but I'm stepping out and I'm stepping into my fear and I'm doing it. Um, but yeah, when she asked me to come speak to you guys, I kind of was thinking like, oh, like what strategies or, what things can I share? Because we all know like Liza's like the power of three, like structure queen, and like that's her zone. Like structure is her thing, and like that's such a blessing to you guys because that is something I didn't have. But really, what kind of stuck out to me the most is trusting the process and honoring your journey and kind of where you are, because everyone's journey looks different. Um, a lot of times, you're not going to move as fast as you initially intend to move. And it becomes hard because you're going to be comparing yourself to those around you or all the people you follow on social media. And that's just something that it's it weighs heavy on your soul if you let it. But if you kind of build up the skin to kind of block all of that out and just like I said, trust the process, it becomes such a more beautiful journey that is your own and it is unique, and it is something that really kind of shapes you into a different person. And so I just kind of wanted to talk on that because it's something that I've had to learn to, I don't want to say battle with, but basically be okay with doing, because I got caught up in the game of, oh my God, this person joined after me and they're passing me. What am I doing wrong? And then all of that negative self talk and all of that, well, I'm not good enough starts coming into play. And if you don't get a hold of that, it will completely crash and crumble your business. And I experienced that, like just being completely honest. Like when I started in 2015. I was a new builder. I was building blind, but I was on a mission and I knew everyone needed oils in their home. So I was sharing with all my friends and family. And within a month, I went from being consultant to an elite, which is pretty fast for a lot of people. I did it in a month. I want to say like it was like April, like mid-April to like the end of May. Within that time frame, I was able to hit elite. So I was like, shoot, I'm on fire. Like, this is easy. I got this. But then I lost connection with the person who had enrolled me. And so I was on my own. And you guys are lucky enough to have Eliza and, Kate and Kanan and like all of your team leaders who are amazing and who pour love into you guys and who strategize with you and help you. Like, I never had that. I literally had to learn what I knew online and from people who were sharing on social media. Like, I don't know if you guys were building ground, but there's something called Periscope. Where, do you remember that, Liza? Periscope? Where people who were doTERRA leaders would go on and it was kind of like a live broadcast and they would just share information. And that was literally how I learned to build this business. So I didn't have a great foundation. And so that's when things kind of started to crumble because I started getting in my head. And this is something that I'm assuming a lot of people kind of deal with, is that negative self-talk of, can I do this? Am I worthy enough to build this as a business? Do I have the skills to build this business? Because building this isn't easy. Like, it looks all fine and dandy and like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, share oils. But a lot of work goes into doing this if you really want to make something of it. And so if you it can be done, especially now if you don't have this support, but having the support makes a world of a difference. So it's yeah, it's just oof. It's rough. It was rough for me, guys. Just believe me, I was on the struggle bus. um, but the thing that came out, like the beauty that came out of it, was me diving into the whole self development. And that's something that I hope you guys are all doing. it's something that is not fun. It's uncomfortable. Um, it causes you to do a lot of things that are going to make you feel uncomfortable. But if you're able to dive into that aspect of this and really look at it from not only like a personal standpoint, but a business standpoint, it's going to help you grow leaps and bounds. So I I don't know where everyone is in their journey, but I can wholeheartedly say I am not the same person that I was 2, 3 years ago, because doTERRA has forced me to do the work to step up and be a better person, to step up and be a leader, to step up and be okay with letting myself shine and say, hey, this is me, this is who I am. And before, it was very easy to kind of hide and be like, oh, well, this is, you know, this is my upline that I did talk to. And so this is their, this is what they created. So I'll share and put input here and there. But I never at the time was prepared to like assert myself as a leader, because in my heart I didn't feel worthy. But it's when you're able to take that leap and say, no, I take full ownership of my team. I am the leader of my team, and what I do and the actions that I do set the pace for what my team is going to do. Then that's like it's a whole shift, not only in your mindset and how you show up, but in how everyone else around you shows up. Because then it's like, oh, you know, I have someone that you're like shiny light, and there's the moths, and they want to follow you, they want to come to you, and so that will really shift where you are in your business. So if you find that you're kind of towing the line with am I ready to step out and assert myself as a leader? Go for it. It's scary, but it's worth it. And it's going to require a different level of you. It's going to require you to show up differently, but it's going to make you so much stronger and so much better. And, like I always, like, I don't know if you guys have heard the phrase, but like C's get degrees. No one starts off this business just like perfect and, your posts are great and your lives are great. That's not true. Like, your stuff's going to be trash. It's going to be bad. Your lives are going to be bad. And it is what it is. And the only way you can get good is through practice. So it's just overcoming that fear of being imperfect and showing up anyways is to help you build up the skills that you need to show up the way you think you need to show up, to be a Keely Martinez or Kim Camuso. Like, they kill it online. They are great when they speak and when they share what they have to share. But they didn't start off that way. No one starts off that way, and it's okay. So it's just taking that leap to show up as you are, real and raw, and taking those baby steps to kind of get you up the mountain to where you're like, okay, I've mastered this skill. And so, like, for instance, when I first started, when I built myself to elite, I had not taught one class, not one, because I was scared of public speaking. And the idea of standing in front of a group as an authority and running a class was like literally terrifying. But once I hit that point, I had to force myself to do it because I stopped growing. So that's kind of a reoccurring thing that you'll to points where you have to, when you'll step into that next level of leadership and then see your business kind of grow into a new level of success. And another thing is, be authentic, be who you are. We all come with our own separate set of skills, And some people are good at some things and some aren't so great, but you're obviously not going to be perfect at everything. So work with what you're good at while you build up what you aren't so good at. So with me, I could kill a one-on-one. I was great with, connecting to someone, hearing their direct needs. But when it came to a group, I got intimidated and then I shrunk myself. And so at our healthy habits tour, one of the speakers was talking about how, like, when it comes to the close, you're confident and you're passionate and you're sharing all this information about things that you're, you know let me help you with your pain or whatever it is. But when it comes to the close, a lot of us get uncomfortable and that whole entire energy shifts and the crowd feels it. So when that energy shifts, it puts doubt in their mind because you're projecting that doubt in yourself to be able to sell. And so that was something that I noticed I had. So I had to work on building up that skill. So it's just really like identifying what it is that you feel aren't your strong points and working on those, even though, again, it's super uncomfortable. Um, and then I saw that you guys were talking about excuses. So that was something that Liza put, I thought was a great post, because Lord knows we all have a bazillion excuses, whether it be why we're not exercising, why we're not eating right, the bad habits we have, or things when it comes to our business. But one thing that I work with a coach, and one thing that my coach kind of pointed out to me, because Lord knows I was telling her all these excuses about why I was stuck in my business. She was like, what's the story you're telling yourself? So instead of saying, like, what's the excuse, what's the story you're telling yourself? So I encourage you, when you come up to things like this, where you find, like, oh, my business is growing because of blank. Ask yourself, what's the story I'm telling myself? Is it true? Or is it something I'm, like, a fear that I'm projecting over a situation? And is it something that you can be vulnerable and honest about and find some clarity in, instead of staying in that uncertainty? So, like, for me, I was like, okay, all my builders have things that have come up in their lives that have made them kind of step away from the process. They've kind of stepped away from building because, one's having a baby, one started teaching, everyone's busy with their lives, so they don't have time for doTERRA. And she's like, okay, well, that's the story you're telling yourself, but what's the truth? So that kind of made me pause, and I was like, dang, I really don't know, because I wasn't being honest and communicating with them. So it made me kind of check myself in how I was projecting my own thoughts and ideas on the situation, and how I needed to step up and approach these people and say, hey, I've noticed such and such and such. Is this true? Or is there something that I can help you with to kind of, get your classes back on the books, or to help you get back on track? So then that way it kind of created a moment where, instead of building up this idea and fear or false truth in my head that would then start sabotaging my business, it turned it into something powerful that I could correct. And so that's something that I encourage you guys to kind of start asking yourselves when you, again, find yourself in similar situations, that you are basically telling yourself a story and you don't know if it's true. So, and then let's see. Let's see. So one thing that, like, the way I kind of like to look at it is, there's 3 different components of this business that you kind of have to embrace, and that's like your tools, your belief, and your actions. So the first thing they always ask you is, are you committed and are you capable? So obviously, if you're here, you're committed. You've decided to build this as a business. You have it in your heart, in your gut, whatever it is, whatever your intention, whatever your why is, it's there. And are you capable? Do you know how to do the basic skills necessary to build a business? And so with that, there's no reason why you can say you don't have the tools, because now with all of the live, share, build launch guides, there's literally no excuse. Like if you had no upline whatsoever, if Liza, Kay, Kanana, all of you guys, like if they weren't there for you, you could go online, pull up those resources, and teach yourself how to build this as a business. And that's something that I really like. I know you guys have talked, I've seen that you guys have talked about them, but I really hope you guys are utilizing them, because they are a tool that we did not have back in the day, even like 2 years ago. Before, it was just us going based off of information others have shared, or information that outside sources had tried to create to basically have like a live, share, build guide. But it wasn't doTERRA driven. It was kind of like a concept. But now it's like everything is basically given to you now. It's like, here's how to build a business. Okay, go. Where there's no guesswork in it. Obviously, like I said, there's your internal things that you bring with you, your baggage, but the blueprints are there. And so I really encourage you guys to take advantage of those, because was that a question?
Yes. So the 3 components, Nicole, were tools, belief, and actions.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I've never come across that. I'm a new Zoomer. Sorry.
No, me too. We don't get a lot of chat, so no, me too.
Okay. I was like, what's happening? Okay, I thought I got kicked out. But yeah, so as far as tools go, it's like that's something that you guys have at your fingertips at all times, to not only use for yourself, but to show your team how to utilize. So I feel like when you are able to empower someone else to say, hey, here's all the information, like I'm here to help you, but also like help yourself, that's amazing, because we weren't given that luxury. So by all means, take advantage of it. Action. You can talk all you want, but it doesn't mean a darn thing unless you do the work. And I know Liza talks about this all the time. And I know you guys do DMO, which I think is amazing. I know it's worked great for your team. Whether it's, DMO, or just you simply having kind of like your checklist for the week, or like with me, I have everything in my phone calendar, my to-do list. But you're not going to go anywhere if you aren't doing the work. Your intention can be there, your heart can be there, but you're not going to move unless you put the classes on the books. You make those connections. You show up for your team. Be consistent when you show up. And that's one thing that I think makes a huge difference, is being consistent. Because I've seen in my own personal business where I kind of fall off, I notice my volume and the rest of the team falls off too. So it's just, even if it's a small post or text, or reaching out to someone, inviting someone to coffee, one of your builders, like whatever it takes to just keep some type of momentum to keep yourself moving forward, it's better than staying stagnant and not doing anything. And there will be times, because again, I'm speaking from what I've experienced, where you do kind of fall off, and we all have that. You're not going to go hard 100% of the time. It's not realistic. A lot of us work, we have other jobs, we have other responsibilities, we have kids. So going 100% hard all the time is not something that's realistic. But, when you fall off, don't fall off to where you're getting that fear of like, dang, I haven't shown up in a long time. And then that fear feeds itself and it causes you to hesitate. So you have to just kind of get over it, let the ego go, and show up anyways. If you haven't posted in a week in your group, that's okay. Just show up and keep showing up from there on, because people are forgiving. People are busy too. They get it. But it's just, you can't completely step away, because when you step away, you're stepping away from your business, and all of that momentum that you've worked to gain is going to be lost. So remain as consistent as possible within a realistic means to your lifestyle. And belief. It comes down to your why. We talk about it till we're blue in the face, but honestly, like, it's what's going to keep you going when things get tough, and when you want to just like cry, when you want to like, oh my God, this is so hard. There's been so many people who have come in and out of this business with me, but they've given up. They've said, oh, this is too hard, I give up. And so for me, I'm like, if that's how you feel, okay, I honor it, because you want people who, no matter what, are still going to show up, even when things get tough, even when things are hard, even when they're not moving as quickly as they want to. Like me, I could have walked away a long time ago, you guys. Like, I've been in doTERRA for, what is it, 4 years now? I'm a silver. That, in my mind, isn't nearly as far as to where I want to go, but damn, at least I'm going somewhere. Like, I could have just been like, peace, this is hard, I'm done, I've given it my all. But my why is what keeps me here. My why is the reason that, despite all the things that I have to overcome, and the things I've had to face, and all the feelings of being uncomfortable, like this situation, and the stretch tasks that you have to face, your why is what keeps you moving. It's what keeps you motivated. And it has to be something that's strong enough to do that. Because if it's not, it's going to be easy to just kind of check out and decide to, stay a user and part your ways. But it's just, with doTERRA, it's so much bigger than yourself. And looking at the big picture, it's, you guys, like, what doTERRA offers you is something you can't find anywhere else. You're not going to be able to find the time freedom and the financial freedom that you will get from doTERRA doing something you are genuinely passionate about and that you love. And if that is something that you do have on your heart, then go for it. Like, I just encourage you to push the bullshit aside and do what you need to do to get to where you need to be. And whether that, is just simply, making enough to cover what you currently get paid in your regular 9-to-5 job, or having a bigger vision to where you're like, no, like, I want to bring my spouse home, or I don't want to have to work anymore, or, I want to help such and such, or this organization, if you kind of have a heart for service. Like, this company is the vehicle to get you to where you want to be. So it's just really evaluating what you want out of this and how much do you want it. I just think that is the underlying thing that matters. But it's also, like I said in the beginning, trusting the process and giving yourself grace, because it's not gonna go according to plan. Things will happen, things will change, life will happen. But I just really encourage you to stick with it if this is really what you feel like you're meant to do. Because if you have it in your heart, you will make it happen, no matter how long it takes. And I think they say, if you even do like a rank a year, you'll still be like blue diamond in, what did they say, like 8-9 years, whatever. Which is like, come on now, look at the money you'd be making. Like, I'd rather do that. I've been at my job for 8 years and I'm not making nearly as much as the blue diamond right now. It's definitely something that's doable. And it's, it's fun work. At the end of the day, it is fun. It is cool to share these things and to help people and get those text messages that are like, oh my God, my child actually slept for the first time. Like, I used to call it like the hustle high, where you would get all excited when someone was like, this worked for me. And you're like, yes, I knew it. But ride that enthusiasm, you guys. Like, show up from that space of belief and excitement, and just a true love for the product because it's infectious and people feel it. And people know that when you show up in that way, you're not selling them. You're really here to help them. And that makes a world of a difference. And I think that's what makes doing doTERRA so different than a lot of other MLMs, because we show up differently. Our hearts are pure in why we're here. It's obviously the money aspect is great, but at the end of the day, we really genuinely want to help people. And I think as long as you kind of come from that place of service, you know, it's well received and people are more inclined to want to say, okay, like, I trust this, I trust you, because, you know, you have all of this belief behind it, like, share your belief with me. And then that will then kind of pass on to them, and then it kind of becomes a ripple effect. And then that's when you become a diamond like Liza. There was one quote that I found that I wanted to share because I felt like it was really relevant to what we do, or basically what doTERRA offers us. Let me find it. So this particular quote says God, so obviously replace it with whatever is relevant to you. Again, it's just the concept I want you guys to take away. But it says, people pray for the cake, then God gives them the batter, eggs, oil, icing, pan, and an oven. Then they get frustrated and leave the kitchen. Let that sink in. Sometimes you have everything right in front of you, but how bad do you want it? And I feel like that right there, when I read it, I was like, that's doTERRA. It's like, here's everything you need to build your business. Here's the information. Here is an amazing product. Here is a company you can stand behind. Here is the customer service and the packaging and the shipping and everything handled for you. Okay, go do it. Here's your $1 million business. Go do it. And people will walk away because it takes work. And so ask yourself, like, are you prepared to do the work? And if the answer is yes, go freaking do it. However that looks, whatever it looks like to you, whatever, you know, if you have to put it in when your kids go to bed, you know, find time in the middle of the day when you're, you know, on a lunch break, do your DMO, whatever it takes, do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. Because the only person standing in your way is you. And as soon as you get over yourself and you get over your ego and you get over all the limiting beliefs and the fear that you have, you will flourish and you will fly and you will just become this like ball of energy and hell yes, and you will freaking do it. And it's amazing when you find that you are in that flow, whether you are rank advancing quickly or you're just, you know, applying the skills and the things and the up leveling that you've done for yourself, you will see your business start to change. So I'm going to leave you with that quote and just the hope that you really honor where you are, but you do the work to get yourself to where you want to be. Because this business is awesome and you guys are a part of a great team. And I always like joke, like, if I would have known, I would have totally joined your team. But Liza has been great, and she's taken me under her wing, and she's helped me with structure and helped me clean up the mess that I made when I started and didn't have any guidance. And you've just been a blessing to me, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate all of you guys for giving me time today. Obviously, like I said, y'all, this wasn't perfect. It was my first time, but I appreciate you letting me show up.
Can we all, like, because I mean, there's so much I could say, and I'm going to try not to, and I'm going to let other people, but Ashley, that was perfectly, I mean, you would say it was not perfect, so I'll go with it. It was perfectly imperfect. It was exactly you and who you are, and that's all I wanted was for you to show up. And that quote was so, I'd never heard it before, and I think that we can apply that in so many things. Sometimes we ask for the whole package, and we get all of the ingredients, and we have to go out, you know, and do the work. And whether that's, you know, doTERRA or so many other aspects of our lives. So much goodness. I want to kind of open it up, but can we just give, I know she can't hear and I'm not going to mute everybody, but seriously, Ashley, so good. And you are part of this Central Island Living team, and you know that, and you always will be. So
I'm in all your groups and I look every day. So I'm there.
So I would love for a few people to just share a takeaway, something that resonated with you, something that spoke to you. I have like 10 things I could share, but I'd love to hear from you guys. And then of course, if you have any questions for Ashley, maybe we'll just take the next 10 minutes. Before we do that though, can we take our team call picture, just because I know sometimes people start to pop off. And I love me. I need me a Facebook, Instagram photo. Okay, so bye, y'all. I did get my light, if you guys didn't notice. My light after like a month is finally fixed. Okay, so I'm going to mute myself. Go ahead and unmute yourselves. If you don't know how, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. But if anybody wants to pop on with any comments, takeaways, connections, or questions.
I'll talk because I don't know if anybody else is. I was waiting for other people to go, but I'm so thankful. I called Liza during my lunch break and we talked for like a quick 2 minutes, and it was all about team, and it was about rank advancement, and it was about just moving. Hi. Okay. And it was about just moving, and how do I move my team, and are they ready for the next rank, and am I ready for the next rank? So like everything you said tonight, I totally appreciate, because feeling stuck, feeling overwhelmed, feeling, are we ready to move as a team? Am I ready to move to the next level, which would be platinum? It's all like weighing. And it's not a matter of wanting it, because you guys know me and my personality. We spent like 4 days together in San Diego. Like, I absolutely want it, like hardcore. But you can't want it for every single person on your team. So totally appreciate everything you said. Just everything. The 3 tools, everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Cody boy. I couldn't help it. Hi, Cody. Hi, love. Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead, please. Unmute yourself.
I'll jump in. Ashley, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I feel like there's so many things that you touched upon that really, connected with me on my journey that I've been with. Because I do feel like at the beginning it was really hard for me to like do the sales or the close, and I totally connected with that point you put out there about how the energy shifts. If you don't have that belief in yourself, then people aren't going to be attracted to you, and they're not going to trust you, and they're not going to enroll. So that was one point. But another thing you brought up about the committed and capable, and how everyone on this call is committed to their businesses because they're here. And that just, looking at my team here and everyone else on our big team, I'm just so excited to see all of these faces here tonight. I just feel like we've got this really great momentum, and I feel like what you are bringing us is perfect for our team at this moment and where we're going with everything. So thank you so much for that.
And let me just say, like, I'm impressed with how many of you guys show up for this call. Like, that's awesome.
Well, I have to say though that this is probably one of our most attended calls by far. This is by far one of our most attended calls, and I'm really excited because I feel like this is the beginning of something new for our team, to bring in other people and other voices. And I knew you would share your experience, which is an experience that everyone on some level can connect with. And we do have a couple of kind of we call them baby builders in doTERRA, brand new builders who are still probably figuring out what their why is. Know they love the product, but figuring out what their why is. And I think, while we don't want to scare people and discourage them, I feel like everything you shared was an equal part of like here, I'm giving you the $1 million business. Do you want it or not? And it's actually okay if you don't. It's not for everybody, right?
It's not. Like, this business is not for everyone. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be able to be told no all the dang time, and to approach people and be vulnerable and say, hey, like, would like to share this with you. Are you open? And you have to be okay when people shoot you down. Like, nope. Like, I'd rather take that over the counter med or whatever. Like, okay, fine. I respect that. I would do it differently, but hey, you know,
do you. Yeah.
You do you. Exactly. But
and I always say a no now doesn't mean a no forever, because I know that I tell my team us all the time, and it happens almost every month, it feels like lately, where I'm enrolling somebody who was a connection or a contact from 3 or 4 years ago. So like you said, utilizing the tools that we've been given to really keep track of, our DMO, our contacts, the people that have expressed interest, because Keisha and I just did a business overview today with Tasha and T, who are on this call. And we said, keep track of all of those names, because if people are reaching out to you, they're interested. And if they're not ready now, they will be later. And you just want to be there, be sure that you're the person that's there when they're ready.
Want to catch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Anybody else want to pop on? And I don't want to keep Ashley any later just because it's already midnight where she's at. No big deal.
And I'm actually going to work tomorrow after all.
Oh gosh. So there is so much goodness, and I hope you guys actually go back and listen to this call again and the recording, because I took almost 3 pages of notes, but I wanted to talk about something that I think we all can be guilty of. Ashley talked about, the fear of being imperfect, but showing up anyway. And she totally did that tonight, right? She's really nervous and, out of her comfort zone.
Do you think I have enough oils on me today?
Brave, courage.
I smudged my room. I smudged myself. I meditated. I put my oils on, and I was like, okay, Spirit, let's connect. Let's do this.
But I think something that she said in that is, in our quest to show up perfectly or know everything, a lot of us get stuck in that prepare stage of pipe. So when we talk about preparing, inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting, we get stuck in the prepare stage. And I know I just told T and Tasha this today when we met. It's like, don't stop enrolling because they're on fire. Don't stop that. Everything else we can figure out later, but don't, that's what we're here for, to help with the placement and the structure and the support. Don't stop doing that just because you're scared that you don't know how to give a membership overview yet, or that you don't know how to adequately explain all the different ways to order. Like, that will all come. And so I just encourage you guys to really always just keep that at heart. You will never know everything. There will always be new oils. There will always be new products. There will always be new sourcing. There will always be new science. There will always be something new to learn. And if you wait to learn everything, you're going to wait forever, and you're never going to take, income producing action steps. So, God, there was so many things.
Can I just add on to that,
please.
Quickly?
Yeah.
And also with that too, like, if you're kind of coming off, like we say this often, but if you try to come off as too much of an expert, it might be intimidating to people, because you kind of want it to be so simple that people in your class are like, oh, dang, I can do this. Because then it puts that belief in them, like, oh, this isn't so, like, hey, this is something I can actually do, or I might have an interest in. But if you come off as like the all-knowing, like, scientific guru, sometimes that can be a little much to people. So you want to keep it real, keep it relatable, and keep it something that you can duplicate with others without them feeling like it's just too much for them to do.
Totally. That's so That's such great advice. And I think utilizing the tools helps with that as well. Because people see like, oh, you're just using a natural solutions class handout. Oh, we're just going through this business overview together. Oh, I can read from this lifestyle overview guide. I could do that, you know?
Exactly.
And the products you don't use and you're not familiar with, don't stress about it. And the ones
It's in
that
the book.
it's in the book. And the ones
That's what I say all the time.
and the ones that you are, then you can, feel more confident about talking about. I also feel like Ashley is bringing to us what I know as a team I have never done a great job of offering, which is that personal development and personal growth. I highly recommend finding a podcast or an audiobook or reading a personal development book. It doesn't have to be business driven. But just finding ways to really stretch yourself in those areas as well, because that journey never ends. And it doesn't matter what rank you're at, you're always going to feel the struggles, and the pressure and the overwhelm. So anybody else, any dying questions or comments before we log off? Before we go, can we just give Ashley one more round of applause? Thank you so much for
I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
We love you so much and we appreciate you. So we are coming upon the next month. June is upon us. How did that even happen?
Seriously. Yes.
Seriously crazy. So in the month of June, we are going to really be diving into the sales guide. So I really am going to ask that everyone order this. This is one of the more expensive guides. It is $5. Please get it in your next LRP for the month. You can also download it for free online, but I tend to like the books. Ashley talked about a few other guides, which we have taken the time over the last few months to go over. All of the recordings are posted in our business group and on my YouTube page. But if you don't have copies of the build, share, launch guides, I would highly recommend getting those as well. They can be found in your back office. If you're on Maui, or even if you're not, I'm happy to get you those. Because like Ashley said, everything really is there for us. This is doTERRA's newest guide. So we're going to go through this slowly. One of the mistakes I think we made was going a little too quickly through the other guides. So we're going to really pump the brakes and focus solely on the sales guide in the month of June. Hopefully I can get one more guest speaker for the month of June, if not for sure July. But moving into June, this is going to be our primary focus. So please be sure to order this guide or get that downloaded. If there's nothing else, as usual, thank you guys all so much for showing up for yourselves, for your businesses, for your teams. I don't think... Again, there's so many things, but I think one of the biggest lessons that I hope resonated with everyone from Ashley today is that we are all going to stumble. We are all going to fall. We are all going to suck sometimes. And we just got to get back up. You just got to get back up. If this is what you really want, you just got to get back up and keep on going. So we are here to support you. Let us know how we can support you, because believe me when I say we want to. Your success is important to us, because we know how amazing these products are and this opportunity, and we want this for everybody. So thank you for showing up for yourselves and for your teams tonight. We will be staying on, as we always do, to work on the June calendar of events. So stay tuned for that. That will be announced before the 1st. And yeah, thank you guys. Love y'all. Thank you, Ashley.
Can I snap a pic before I...
Oh yeah, please do. If yours is better than mine, I might ask you.
Let me see. There.
I never can get a good angle. Okay, everybody smile.
Cheese. Okay.
Cody boy. Such a cutie pie. All right, everybody.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No,
thank you guys for being so kind.
You
and
were
listening
amazing.
to what I had to say, even though it may have been scatterbrained and I may have said a million times.
No, it was so
Thank you.
perfect. I can't even tell you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
I appreciate you.
everybody.
I love you.
I love you. Mwah.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.